Can you spray paint a whole car and make it similar or close to a professional paint job? Now we're not talking show quality here. I don't expect to get that. There's several things that go into that. You'll have a primer sealer, a layer of paint, and then several coats of clear. Now this is a single stage paint. It has paint in it and clear coat, so as you spray it, there's not a need to throw a clear coat on it. But what I will say, if this works out, I would shoot it with a 2K clear, which is a 2-part paint. Usually there's a thing that you push in the bottom, it mixes it, and it has a hardener in it, and then you'll get that high quality clear coat. Now, we're gonna do it with just a single stage, and we're gonna see how it comes out. So this is how the hood started. I had to do quite a bit of sanding on it. I actually did a little bit more sanding than what you can see here. There's lots of dings, imperfections, things that are going to need some body filler. So I did use a little bit of body filler. I didn't spend a ton of time on the prep work for this, which is a mistake on my part, but this is going to be a trail truck, so it's not that big a deal. So prior to shooting this primer, I sanded the hood down with 400 grit sandpaper. So I went ahead and shot it with primer because I want to try body filler over the top of primer. Those lines from spray paint are right there in the hood. You can see them. Typically that's what you get from a can of paint that doesn't have a wide fan nozzle. So that's the point of this experiment, to see what these nozzles can do and how nice the paint job can come out. Now I threw that body filler on, then I fixed a lot of imperfections, sanded it down, resprayed the primer, and then sanded down with 600 grit sandpaper, and then degreased the hood, and now it's ready for paint. Now, you always want to clear the nozzle. I have sprayed with this before, so I'm making sure it's clean. But Rust-Oleum has on the can different spray settings. And the last, let's see, 4 and 5 is a vertical fan and a horizontal fan. And so I want a vertical fan. So I'm going to make sure it's on 4, and you can see it changes the nozzle shape. Now your first coat, regardless of whether you're doing a rattle can like this or an actual paint gun, is you want a very thin, almost dust. And what that does is it almost creates a rough surface for your next couple of coats to stick to without creating runs. You never just want to start spraying. You always want to spray from the edge and carry it over. If for some reason you have to stop spraying, you always stop spraying over the edge. Now, something I've noticed is there's spatter from this nozzle. So that is a can that I've used previously, so that might be the issue there. And again, it's just a dust coat. It's not supposed to be very thick. And you always want to have a wet edge when you go from one side to the next. If you don't have a wet edge, you'll end up with like a cloudy section. You always want to make sure you get the edges. And you'll notice it's patchy. That's pretty normal. It's very normal. It's okay. You don't have full coverage. You want it to be like this so that your next couple of coats don't run and they have something to really stick to. If you do not do this, your paint will chip off. It's more susceptible to rock chips. That's with a paint gun or a rattle can. This is really important. So I'm gonna let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes until it's what we call tacky. The colder it is, the longer it will take for it to get tacky. So it's 72 degrees in here, and I have the heat on for this exact reason. I want a warmer environment compared to outside where it's 50 degrees right now, and you want your can to be, I wouldn't say hot, but warm. And you can do that by putting it in a bucket of warm water or setting it in front of a heater. Okay, I'm hitting the outside again. Now I'm gonna hit all the high areas. So the reason you hit the high areas is because when you wash a car or you sand, any of that, anything that's high is gonna wear down quicker. So you actually want the paint thicker in those areas. So I'm gonna do these vents. I don't think it is show quality. And honestly, most of the issues with it, because there are some small imperfections, most of the issues with it are because I used a can that I tested a week ago and the nozzle wasn't completely clean, so it spattered a little bit. So there's a little bit of that, and the longer it sits, the more it's leveling with itself, so it's harder and harder to see that. The things that are not the paint's fault is like dust, dog hair, things like that. There was a couple pieces of hair that we have found. We've pulled them out as the paint is leveling, and it's leveling where the hair was. So that might be crisis averted. We know it's there though. But like any good paint job, you do need to either wet sand or buff. In this case, I would say that this is going to look good. Like, you won't be able to tell I painted it, but the longer it sits, the better it looks, the more it glosses. So we'll just give it a little bit more time and we will see how it comes out. It actually looks really good, like surprisingly good. Like, I'm starting to understand why people do this. All right, so we have the hood painted. I've let it sit for a couple of days just so the paint could fully cure. If you don't do that, when you go to wet sand, it'll be too soft and the paint will roll or like turn into little balls. And those little balls, it'll just trash your paint job. So what I usually do is I wet sand, and I usually start off with like a 1000 grit sanding block or sandpaper itself. You need to be careful. I've never wet sanded rattle can or spray paint before. So what I actually did is I started at 1500, and I have some car soap in here in my bucket of water, and I'm keeping the hood wet as well, just in case. And what I'm doing is I'm leveling the paint, and somewhere where it's dry, you can usually tell. I'll give it a second to dry. You can usually see high and low spots, because the high spots will be like a cloudy color and the low spots will still be that gloss color that you sprayed. So you might ask yourself, oh, do I have to wet sand? No, you don't. But as with even a professional paint job, there will be debris in the paint. It's very, very rare, unless it's like a show quality, high quality paint job where there's no debris in it. But a good paint job will include wet sanding, generally of just the clear coat. So what we're doing is we're trying to treat this paint like a high quality urethane paint that you would find at a spray shop. And we're trying to do it exactly the same way to see how it comes out. Now, the one thing that has impressed me so far is the paint is tougher than I thought it was going to be. I kind of halfway expected when I hit the edges with the sanding block that paint was just going to come off, and it didn't. So I'm just going to keep wet sanding it until I have those high spots smooth. The reason I let it completely dry is because you can see the high and low spots. If you look at the hood with the light behind it, it should be cloudy looking, right? And the little ridges that you can see, or the little shapes, those are low spots, right? So we've been wet sanding it and we've been bringing it down and leveling it. So this was much worse when I started. This area in particular is worse, right? If you see here, this is where I actually sanded too low. And so that is a risk associated with not spraying thick enough. I'm not worried about it because this is an extra hood. And if this were somewhere else's hood, or if I was going for a nicer finish, I probably wouldn't be spray painting it. But where I'm going with this is, because this is a truck that I'm going to be taking on trails, I'm going to tear this paint up anyways. This is more of an experiment. But before you cut and buff, you're going to want to go to either 2,000 to 3,000 grit. I don't have any of that, but I have 5,000 grit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, wet sand. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to smooth out those ridges just a little bit more in the surface. And then because this is so flexible, I can get down in some of those ridges that I cannot get with the sanding blocks. So rinse again. Your next step is to use a cutting compound. Now, I don't usually use this, I use other stuff. I need to use this bottle up, and this is specifically what it's supposed to be for, is hazy paint. So all right, so we're gonna try the My Chemical Guys V38 finishing polish. So I've used this before. It's very runny, but I was not impressed with the last compound we tried. Pad, because there's still some swirls in it. It could be from a contaminated pad. More than likely, that's what it is. All right, so is it worth spray painting your vehicle? I'd say if you're just trying to save money and you're not looking for a show car quality paint job, then yes. It's definitely not perfect. You can see terrible bodywork through it that I did, but this is the finished result. I will probably throw this on the truck. It's shockingly nice compared to where it started. So you tell me down in the comments, would you rattle can your whole vehicle? Is it worth it? Did this come out worse than it looks right now to us? Because we're kind of 50-50 on whether we like it or not. And that's probably because we're so used to nicer, newer vehicles. But on something old like this actually came out really nice. It's nice and smooth to the touch. Water's gonna slide right off of it compared to the old rusty beat up hood that this was. So can you rattle can a car or truck? Yeah, sure. Is it gonna look as bad as they used to look with all the paint lines in it? Definitely not. So thanks for watching.